Welcome everyone. Today we'll have updated Diablo for Spiritborn Endgame Pit 150 pushing guide. Now looking behind me, this is one of the Chinese content creators we have been learning and also following, and here he's trying to demonstrate to us how to clear the Pit 150 less than 2 minutes. Now during this run, you're going to see something quite interesting. If you look at the mini-map and also the screen, you can see that he is using the Mercenary SUBO instead of the shielding Mercenary that provide us with more fortified. One of the reasons he wants to use SUBO is that he can see the density of the monsters, and this means he can then directly target farm certain part of the map and not get too lost in the map. And having SUBO also means he gets a little bit of bonus damage for critical damage. And during this entire speedy run, he was able to achieve almost less than 2 minutes for the entire pit clear. So let me fast forward a little bit to show you guys. So during this run, he was able to reach the boss in less than 2 minutes. But what happened with the boss is, he later said in the comments, because of the boss did not summon monsters, he could not one-shot the boss, and this run did not take under 2 minutes. But as you guys can see over here, he has posted several videos in under 3 minutes, 2 minutes 30 seconds, and multiple attempts using SUBO as the new mercenary that is now a new favorite for clearing the endgame, because SUBO will provide you with map hack. And who doesn't like map hack, right? So we can see in most of the videos, the enemies now shows up on the screen, and this really helps you to target direction, how, and also where you want to go with the pit. And some of the Chinese content creators have theory crafted using SUBO and also finding a correct map with decent density, they can then clear the pit 150 in under 2 minutes. Now for those of you that does not want to swap your mercenary, you can still use the shielding fortified companion that we used to use, and you can see another Chinese content creator that doesn't use SUBO can also clear the pit 150 in around 2 minutes and also 34 seconds. Yes, they are pushing by the seconds, they are trying different methods and also ways to push for pit higher clear and how to do this more efficiently. So in this video, we're looking into the new setup using SUBO as a mercenary that provides you guys with map hack and also directioning. And also we have a lot of notes, additional notes from the Chinese content creators of how to clear pit in close to 2 minutes or even under 2 minutes. And I have translated those, and let's go through those in the video as well. Now before we jump into the builder's guide and also the notes, a big thank you to 暗黑泽泽 and also here 每天都想打游戏. You guys might notice those content creators in some of our early videos, and they have provided additional notes over here, as you can see, in method in clearing the print even more efficient. So firstly, let's jump over to the builder's guide. If you guys have been following the previous video and also the guide from 暗黑泽泽, he is the content creator that does not use SUBO at the moment. And we do have the builder's guide of his latest clear for 2 minutes and also 31 seconds. So this is by far the fastest without using SUBO. And if you guys do want to follow the builder's guide, it is readily available with a link of video guide. So the build we're currently following is gonna be a build that uses SUBO. So let's jump over to the mercenary and have a look at the passive for SUBO. What you really want is the map hack passive ability coming from him. But it is also really nice to have this particular node for the amplification of critical damage by 25% with open fire. And those are the recommended setup, together with additional attack speed coming from Bloodthirst. Now in terms of this second variant using the SUBO mercenary, there isn't much changes with the gears and also stats of choices. But we can change the skills a little bit to gain additional critical damage from the passive of counter attack, but we're removing some points from the hunter over here. In terms of the Paragon, the Chinese content creator actually have a really good recommendations. He noticed that not all the players are over 260 or 280 levels, and he has shared in additional notes that you just need 40 dexterity for the first Paragon board. And this will allow you to save up more points or have more points to connect to the other nodes to gain additional benefits. So if you guys don't have enough Paragon points, you can have a look at this one. But if you do have enough Paragon points, you can have a look at the previous one. Now over here, let's come over to some of the translations of the 10 important tips coming from the Chinese content creators. And here I made my own translation. The first tip he recommended is having close to 200% movement speed. And there's a number of ways to do this, coming from the boots and also the chest pieces. Just having this particular mythical chest actually boosts our movement speed by 40%. So my boots only provide me with 12% movement speed. If I take it off, it's 140%. If I take the chest off, we're down to 100%. So, oh, it's actually not showing, but yes, the chest actually provides us with 40% movement speed. And this is a big factor if you want to push for 200% movement speed. Now, the second point he pointed out is that if you're using the new setup for the Mystic Circle, so yes, we're using the Mystic Circle setup, and the content creators have noticed that Mystic Circle have an inbuilt 10-second cooldown. And as we're going to see on the second part of the rotations and also skill castings, you want to be timing your Mystic Circles so that you're killing each group of elites in 10 seconds and then go to the next one. And you don't want to spawn your Mystic Circle randomly because this will waste a lot of damage. And as we're going to see in the replays, as you fight elite monsters and also small monsters, you want to have monsters in between you and also elites. So this way you can explode the little monsters to one-shot elites for a faster clear. Now in terms of potion usage, previously we were using the potion combination over here. So I'll show you guys the potion combination. Previously we're using Maximum Life and also Charles of War for all stats. And finally we kept it off with 25 Dexterity. What the Chinese content creator has been saying is they started to use the maximum shadow resistance potion, the Desert Escape. This will give them additional resistance which they do not have max to 70%, and this will allow them to retain the decay of their barriers. Having more barriers on our character means we have more damage, and they are saying this is better than having 25 dexterity in comparison. So now the combination of elixirs and also essence is going to be this combination. Shall I show you guys over here? So we're going to go Elixir of Fortune, and we're going to go Charles of War, we're going to go Remedious Buzz for 500 maximum life, and then you can go with maximum resistance you're missing, because this protects your barriers, which allows you to do even more damage. Now during the replays, you're going to see that the Hunter is used as a mobility ability. Together with timing correctly of Vortex and also Scourge, you'll be doing a lot more damage to those monsters. One of the highlights from the Chinese content creator is that if you look at your Paragon board, and I'll show you guys my Paragon board, the beneficial gain coming from Spirit, even though you're acting Dexterity over here. So here, let me try to find the point of Dexterity. So if I'm adding Dexterity over here, I get 22.2% critical damage bonus. But what they have calculated is that you gain over 10,000 critical damage bonus, and gaining additional 22% is less than, I guess, 0.3% damage bonus. And they are recommending us to actually look for nodes and also points that provides non-physical damage, damage bonus, and even damage with barriers and vulnerability damage. And those, in the sense, you just need 40 dexterity for the spirit glyph over here, and then you can look for the rest of the points. So I can take those points off, have 40 dexterity, and then I can perk into the other points to get even more damage scaling because of the calculations. Now, one of the biggest factors for doing more damage is to understand the attack speed breakpoint. We have talked about this in the previous video, and basically you can calculate how much attack speed you gain from Paragon board, from your skills, abilities, even from the follower. And you do want to reach around 123, 140, 163% attack speed bonus. And this is after all the buffs, and this is while you're in combat. And once you have reached those breakpoints, you can then gain a bonus of attack damage. And if you're not close to those breakpoints, you don't have to stack attack speed. And it's very important for those of you that want to make a max to watch this guide on the timestamp for this particular part. Now, after switching the build to the new mythical chairs, a lot of the content creators have noticed that you can now provide yourself with unlocking most of the bonuses on the knots. So what I mean by that is all the golden, yellow, red knots can now be double bonus, and most of them can. So you should be min and maxing your Paragon board so that you gain most of the benefits from those yellow knots. Now, there is a common question that is asked among the Chinese community. Why are we going with resource cost reduction? And from the explanation from the Chinese content creators, it seems like it is a multiplicative damage bonus. And having more resource cost reduction means we deal more damage. The example was having 10% resource cost reduction equals to doing 11.1% more damage for your build. And this is one of the reasons you can see on the rings we're stacking resource cost reduction with affixes and also with tempering. Now, the final tip for using the Mercenary SUBO is that even though Mercenary SUBO loses out damage because we're not getting 100% fortified compared to the shield follower, we're having a proper path and also directioning in finding more monster density. And this means we can clear faster in pit 150 once you have enough damage. So what we're going to do now is let's have a look at the Chinese content creator's clear and have a look at the method he shared just over here. So as we talked about previously, you want to be rotating your circles. Every 10 seconds, you should be going for another group of monsters. And your goal is to explode the little monsters so you kill for the elites. Notice that he didn't go for the last elite, rather he went for the next pack because he knows his circle is about to reset. So every 10 seconds, you want to group the elites and take them down. Sometimes it is okay to skip the purple monsters, but other times if they become a trouble, you can try to take them down. So just like over here. And again guys, you try to reset your circle or go for another pack of elites every 10 seconds because this is a cooldown of your mystic circle. Now in terms of mobility, you can use the hunter as your mobility skill, together with grouping the monsters correctly and also always casting vortex and scourge together, you will be able to deal the highest damage. In terms of the monster density and also map choices, you want a map that is open. Together with SUBO, you can see on an open map where are the monsters located. Look at the minimap over here. And because of this, he can quickly take down a lot more monsters compared to previously. Because there will be some mappers that can be a little maze and there will be maps just dead end. Having the monster density revealed to the player is actually a massive bonus, especially at this stage of the game where you're doing so much damage one-shotting most of the elites. Now once you have done enough monster killing and reached the boss, it is very straightforward, and most of the Chinese content creators do recommend to fish for a boss that will summon monsters. If you find a boss that does not summon, it takes you another 2 to 3 minutes, but if you find a boss that can summon little monsters, it takes you less than 10 seconds like the demonstration over here. And finally, the replay we're following, the Chinese content creator has mentioned that unfortunately once he got to the boss was actually one of those bosses that does not summon, and this is why he reset the dungeon. But should you guys want to follow his pathing and also playing style, I'll have the videos available for you guys to have a look in different clears in under 3 minutes, 2 minutes 30, and potentially 2 minutes clear for the pit 150.